friends, we just pressed the Let's Go Live button. We have some serious news to attend to tonight, and I'm glad that you're joining us. Let's make sure the tubes are working as per usual before we jump into it. We've got a lot to unpack, as we know. A very horrifying night that we're still trying to ascertain the truth about. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Let's make sure we're loud and clear. As you can see, we are here at a new location, so I want to make sure the tubes are working before we start rambling off here into oblivion. Even more important now than ever. You can see and hear me? All right, great news. As you can see, we were on the road today, and we're just learning that our president was shot in the head, Donald Trump, an assassination attempt on his life today. And so we're going to go through it in detail to see what we can tease out of all the noise that's out there right now. I've got a bunch of tabs that we pulled open from X and elsewhere. And so we're going to see some reaction from Trump. He's already come out. He is okay. He has left the hospital. He's already released some new statements. And so thank God for that. When I heard the news that there was an assassination attempt, my heart sank. I don't know about you guys, but there was a state of shock that I experienced. And we have spoken about this for a long time. We've even joked about it here on this channel. There have been many stories that we have refused to cover here on this channel because I don't even want to put that thought out there that something like this would happen. But it has happened, and it is not good. So we're going to talk about it, my friends. Very glad that you're here and with us. I know that there's been a lot of news and noise. So I want to go through things as methodically as we can to piece together what we know at this moment. And so let's start with Trump. Let's just share that he is A-OK at the moment. This is what he posted on Truth Social not long ago. He said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. My understanding is that person is still in the hospital. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter," and that still remains true, who's now dead. "I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear." Shot with a bullet. Trump was shot in the head. It hit his ear, but he was shot in the head. If he was off inches, he'd be dead right now. And it would have happened in the middle of a rally in front of all of America to see. Off by mere inches. President Trump was shot in the head. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America." It's an insane day that we're living through, and it's surreal. So please forgive me if I'm even having trouble finding my words. The fact that this happened is something that I think changes the timeline that we're currently on. And we're going to see just how badly it does. But we have more to talk about. So you've already seen the scene. You've already seen the footage. But let's go through it again because it is historic. This is a moment that we'll never forget, and we thank God it resolved okay. But this is it, my friends. This is in Pennsylvania. This is Donald Trump, our president, the man who is leading in the race to become the next president, the 47th president, the man that the United States government, unfortunately, has bent over backwards to try to stop and to derail, who have legitimately weaponized the justice system against him, engaged in an onslaught just short of actually shooting him in the head. They've done basically everything that they can. They have prosecuted him. They are on the verge of putting him in prison in New York. They have tried to seize his personal assets. They've raided his residence. They took photographs of Melania's bedroom. They took photographs of Barron's bedroom. They stole his personal property, his personal documents. They framed him from all sorts of various crimes. They blamed him from an insurrection that they allowed to happen and that they caused. And then they tried to say that one half the country, a bunch of MAGA people, are responsible for political violence in America. Okay. They've done all of that. They lecture us about democracy and about wrecking the norms of American democracy when they have pulled every indicia of dictatorships out of their pockets and shoved it down our gullets. All throughout America, we've seen a litany of dictatorial behavior from them, and then they demonize Trump, calling him a Nazi, calling him Hitler, saying he's going to wreck democracy, put women back in slavery, and all sorts of insane things. And then stuff like this happens, and we have already heard people from the left telling us to calm down with the rhetoric, calm down with the political heat that is currently bubbling up all across America. We're asking ourselves why that is. Why did this happen? Is it because of our side? I don't think so. So here is the scene. The man who has already sacrificed everything, who's given up a nice cushy life with hotels and golf courses, is now out being prosecuted, having his property seized, having the privacy and the sanctity of his home and his wife and son invaded by the FBI and the feds. Now he's getting shot in the head as he continues to make America great again. Here is Trump.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold on, your head is bloody.
So we're gonna
Trump, your head's bloody.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Nice, Trump. My gosh. The most historic, epic thing, my friends. Fight, 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 he says. Shot in the head. Now they move him back into the back of the Secret Service vehicle, and he still has his fist up, it looks like. There it is. One final fist pump before he goes into the vehicle. Unreal. The dude is a force of nature. An absolute force of nature. Just got shot in the ear. If he was 6 inches off, he was dead. All right, obviously some people mad at the media, looks like, for instigating, calling Trump Hitler, Nazi, destroying American democracy, blah, blah, blah.
Honestly, it was so unbelievable. I didn't, this is like but all of a sudden,
all right, so they're still now taking off. That's the rest of the scene. Now you can see they're going to shift around and show us the rest of the rally. Yeah, me too, Donna. Yeah, I was not watching it live. I can't even imagine watching it live. For those of you watching it live, unreal. Fight, MAGA, fight, says Lars. All right, so the president is A-OK. Now, a lot of people are asking about how this whole thing happened. We have some other interesting reaction here, other interesting screenshots and some video posts that have come out. We'll talk through some of these. This one's getting a ton of attention. So this gentleman was there. He was saying that he saw the shooter actually crawling up the side of a building to get onto the roof. And so we're going to spend some time today talking about how the shooting, according to some of the most recent X posts, how this whole thing was created. I've got several different graphics and eyewitness accounts. This one came over, as you can see, clip from Terrible, and from this person called Georgina. Shared this one originally. Shout out to Georgina for clipping this one. Says, here's an eyewitness. It describes the BBC News reporter seeing a man with a rifle on the roof of a building firing shots at President Trump in Pennsylvania before being shot by Secret Service. So this one is catching a lot of eyeballs. Very curious. This guy's an amazing hat on. Shout out to this gentleman for being there and for reporting this.
And watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes?
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
Sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
Wild. Okay, so there's more on this. So people are recreating this, and you can see this is a video here from across the way. So somebody just zoomed in on their cell phone, and you can see the shooter is down on the roof there. You can't really see anything, but he's there. You can see like the tips of his boots there. So he is not alive anymore. So that is not far from the scene. All these people you can see right here on the screen are not far, right? This is where the rally is. Like, these people are standing here outside the gates of the rally, not far from it, and then they zoom in on it, and the shooter is right on top of that roof with a direct line of sight into Trump. Some people are wondering why that is. Here is another scene on this. So this is a wild one. This is where the sniper looks like he has his sights on the guy before Trump is ultimately shot. So here is another angle. So Trump, obviously, as we can see, is right here speaking in the middle in front of the podium. This sniper is looking the direction of the other roof, right where the shooter is. So he is now looking at the shooter, and we'll play this a few times here just to recreate it or to review it. But the shooter looks like he shoots first, then the sniper is going to pop his head up. So the Secret Service sniper is going to see the shot. He's probably looking at him going, what the hell's that dude doing on the roof? Then the shot comes out, goes and hits Trump. Then the sniper takes him out. So let's watch this together.
And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, so we just saw that. So his head popped up right there. Right, he's got him in scope right there. Then his head just pops right up. What is that? What is that? What's that? That's the noise. Did he just shoot? Oh my gosh, he did. So then he gets back down, and it looks like maybe he's sighting him back up and then starts unloading. So Trump is already down, right? So the first shot, let's watch that again. You can hear Trump speaking, then you'll hear the bullets go off, and then Trump drops.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that shot. That shot's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, so I think those were the three from, those were several shots, is what it sounded like from the original shooter. And then the sniper returned back in that second batch of shots is what it sounds like.
Really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shooter, now snipers. Sounds like that might be the snipers on the second one firing back. So interesting. Hey, the civil rights lawyer is dropping in, says, well, we'll come back to that. So we've got some reaction, but okay, so this was on that thread, and that was the counter shot from that second sniper. And all right, so what was going on there, right? Why was he looking at him before he just took him out? Was he waiting for the shot to go off? People are wondering whether the Secret Service is involved in this, or, you know, I know that's a scary thing to say or even talk about, but people are asking about this woman, all right? This woman is in charge of the Secret Service. Her name is Director Kimberly A. Cheadle. She is an interesting one. Sworn into office September 17, 2022. She's responsible for executing the agency's mission. Prior to her appointment, she served as the senior director in global security for PepsiCo. Oh, that's good. Where she was responsible for international security for PepsiCo. Oh, that's great. So she's running the Secret Service now. And even Elon's in on this. He says, okay, so before being in charge of the president, she was guarding a bag of Cheetos. Yeah, basically. And the right person for the job. Now, we know that this was an interesting person because she was also, according to Julie Kelly, somebody we know a little bit more about. We know Julie Kelly is amazing, does great reporting. She reshared this one today. She posted this one some time ago in 2023, but Julie Kelly just reposted it because she's reminding us all about who this woman is. Now, let's be clear. More on the deleted Secret Service text messages. So remember that the Secret Service on January 6th, we don't really know what they were doing. We don't really know what anybody was doing. Homeland Security investigations, the HSI team, that we know had a bunch of agents there that were never disclosed to anybody because they said that they weren't the FBI. Okay, anyways, the Secret Service deleted tons of text messages. We never got those. Guess who was in charge? Kim Cheadle. She was a Secret Service honcho on January 6th. She was the assistant director of the Office of Protective Operations. She's tied to both the Cheneys and the Bidens. Joe Biden named her director of the Secret Service last year. Here's what she said about the deleted text messages. And this is her transcribed interview with the J6 committee, was never made public. It's unclear whether her interview is one of several that DHS, which houses Secret Service, is withholding from Congress. We don't know that. Hard to think here, says Julie, given her position on J6 and her appearance in J6 related emails, that her texts aren't missing too. Okay, so this is the woman who's in charge of the Secret Service, the same Secret Service that hasn't given Robert F. Kennedy Jr. any Secret Service protection, despite the fact that two of his family members were shot and killed, and one of them was shot in the head, just like Trump was today. So very curious that they're not providing additional security and support to the people who need it, and now we have another assassination attempt taking place on her watch. Here is Kimberly Cheadle, what we know about her.
She would know. The 28-year veteran was on the team that evacuated Vice President Dick Cheney on 9/11, and she served on then Vice President Biden's protective detail. He named her director in mid-2022. Amid a swirl of controversy over the agency deleting nearly all of its text messages from January 6th. The agency says that was due to a data migration.
System migrations happen, but I think for a lot of Americans, it just doesn't pass the smell test, given the timing and the volume of messages deleted.
Well, it's unfortunate that that would be the assumption that people would make. Our integrity is everything, and there was nothing nefarious attached to that.
Okay.
Their integrity has... She would know.
Okay, Kimberly. Yeah, our integrity, yes, exactly. Filled with integrity, working for the Biden administration, sure, who's been lying to everybody for 3.5 years on multiple different issues, so we got it. Now, here is another close-up of what happened. This is Trump with the fist bump of victory, the fist bump of making America great again. And you can see very closely there, he's saying, fight, let's fight, let's fight. And they have him protected. Now, Elon was sharing this video, this clip, says, I fully endorse President Trump and I hope for his rapid recovery. So there's going to be a bunch of different reaction and things shifting, and we'll talk about more reaction. But here was another angle of the actual incident. So the more interesting setups to me, says this person, Mr. Leadslinger. So this is very curious. Okay, what are these guys doing? Here's a close-up. Looks like they're both looking at that guy, right? So maybe they were just scanning rooftops and they just saw he climbed up, right? They're just scanning rooftops. They're doing their job. It's nothing out of the ordinary. They see him up there. What is that guy doing? Is that one of our guys? It's not? Okay. He just shot. Oh, okay. And then they hit him, right? So there could be an easy, simple explanation for all of this or not. You know, we don't really know. Some people say absolutely not. And we've got some reaction and some other clips of that. Here was a photograph. Look at this photograph. This was insane. When this initially broke, some people were saying that this was a glass fragment that was responsible for the blood on Trump's head. Turns out, no, he got shot in the head. This was a remarkable photo captured by former White House press corps colleague Doug Mills. Look at this one. Zoom in the right above President Trump's shoulder, and you'll see a bullet flying in the air to the right of President Trump's head following an attempted assassination. Look at that. Don't know if that was the one that flew through his ear or not, but the ear is on the head, okay? That's why I'm calling it a head. The ear is on the head. He got shot in the head. It's on the head. So he got shot in the head. It happened to hit him in the ear, but the ear is attached to the head. That's why he got shot in the head. And you can see the bullet may have gone through the ear, and it is just surreal that this is even a real photograph right now. I can't even believe this. So he just hit, like, might have just hit him, right? He's like flinching from this. Like, oh, my earlobe just got blown off because it's attached to my head. It's terrible. Here is another photograph, and you can see several of these back to back, right? The bullet comes right by Trump's ear, right through it, and then zips on by. It's just a surreal photograph. Something that will live in infamy for the rest of our lives. Wild, wild times to be alive. This was something also that John Cardillo posted. He said the shooter was about 150 yards from Trump on a rooftop with a direct line of sight to the stage. That's a little curious, isn't it? Why would that be? It defies every security protocol ever written that this rooftop was not secured, and law enforcement personnel were not standing up there. So the shooter was, as you can see, here's a nice screenshot. Shooter is here at the red pin. Trump is here at the blue pin. And it looks like those other snipers from the Secret Service were probably right back here where my mouse is circling around this building, right? They were right on there looking that direction. Trump was speaking here. So the shooter probably shot through, unfortunately, somebody who passed away in the line of sight, right? There's a bunch of people sitting in the crowd right in this area. And so the shooter shoots, Trump gets hit in the head, and then he continues to shoot. More shots are fired. I think we're still waiting for some reaction or some more details on the number of shots, how many people were shot, the injuries, and all the things. But yeah, it does seem kind of odd, doesn't it? Not a lot of buildings in the area, so you might want to secure that one because it's kind of a close one and it has a direct line of sight to where Trump would be standing. So don't know why that wasn't secured, but interesting take there. This was another witness who came out. He came forward saying he also saw the gunman before shots rang out and alerted police, saying, I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. Just come on over here. Right? This is from CBS, it sounds like. They shared this one. And here's what this gentleman said.
Just take me back. What were you doing before the shooting happened? And then what did you see and hear?
I was just standing there like everybody else, waiting for Trump. And as Trump started, I noticed two officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was. And then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that. And I went and left, and that was all.
Okay, so other people saying they saw this dude climbing up onto a building. Don't know what the Secret Service was doing or what happened there, but I'm sure they'll piece this back together. Came across this interesting thread from this guy. His name is Blake Hall. He is the founder and the CEO of a company called ID.me. You may have even used that. So leading a team, and he is an Iraq combat veteran, and he's somebody who says that he was the sniper employment officer for his battalion, led hundreds of combat missions. He says there were major security lapses in the security plan that allowed a shooter to engage Trump from 130 meters, which would be an easy shot. Okay, that's a threat. So he's confirming this for us. You see here, looks like that where that again, same type of graphic here. That's where the shooter was, and that's where Trump was. Again, Secret Service snipers located there. He tells us how can the dude at the cookout, that guy we just listened to, spot the shooter before the detail? And it wasn't just him. It was the other dude too. We got two witnesses now who've now spotted this guy before Secret Service. Blake Hall saying that's their whole job. The far rooftop is an obvious firing position. Maybe that's why the Secret Service was looking at it. Or those other snipers on the roof were looking back that direction. Local police should have been deployed to secure it. Additionally, drones should have been monitoring it. Says there is clearly a sniper team scanning the rooftops for threats, so maybe that's what they were doing. Oh, we got somebody. But the team only has long guns. You generally want a security element co-located with assault rifles that it can engage much faster, especially within 300 meters. They couldn't engage fast enough, right? So maybe he's trying to sight him up. So they neutralized the target, but not before he wounded President Trump, before he killed an innocent civilian. And he seriously wounded two more. Yeah, so good shooting, but gross failures in the plan meant that they were too slow to react to the threat, so calls that one a mission failure. Secret Service failed big time. They're dead people. The protectee got shot in the head, in the ear. And if he were inches to the other direction, he'd be dead. So people need to be asking a lot of questions. I know people are going to be asking questions, but there's, I think, going to be a reaction from the administration and from others just saying this is a terrible thing and, kind of move on. Let's not allow any recriminations to get the better of us. Let's condemn all, violence in America and move on. Not sure it's going to go that easily, especially when there are strong indications that the White House would like their political opponent removed off the playing field one way or another. Civilly destroyed by seizing his assets or criminally imprisoned. Why not take him out? In fact, we've heard from others like Reid Hoffman. We talked about this morning on our members only stream. Reid Hoffman wishing that he would have made Trump a martyr, a sicko. So we'll listen to more reaction, but the White House has responded to this. They dropped this statement pretty quickly. Joe Biden also came out. We'll listen to what he says. But here's the statement from Joe Biden. They dropped this one quick. It says, I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. Biden said, I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family, for all those who were at the rally as we wait further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. So a very milquetoast response from the president. He did come out and speak. Let's listen to hear what he said about this. This was about 3 hours ago, and he said it's sick. He's tried to get a hold of Donald, the president. Since has done so, apparently. Trump has been released from the hospital. But here is our president, who honestly is probably very happy that we're not talking about his debate anymore, right? Now we're all talking about the assassination attempt. Nobody's talking about our demented president. So talk about a narrative change, right? They're very happy about that, that's for sure. Not saying that that was a motivation behind anything that happened tonight, but you're absolutely happy they're doing cartwheels back there. Oh, great. Now they'll talk about the assassination, not Joe's brain.
Hello, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if
Thanks, Joe.
I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
Yes.
I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
Yeah, it was. There are dead people, so it was clearly a security failing. So, all right, so that is what the president said. There's a lot more reaction, but apparently there's some breaking news that happens right now. So we have the ID of the shooter. And so we'll go ahead and read this article that just dropped from the New York Post. Here's what we know about the dude. The guy's name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He's the gunman. He's ID'd as a 20-year-old from the area. Gunman who attempted to assassinate Trump was 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, sources told the Post. Crooks is of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, so lives in the area. Squeezed off shots, one of which grazed Trump in the ear at an outdoor rally in Butler, outside Pittsburgh. Sources said Crooks was planted on the roof of a manufacturing plant more than 130 feet away from the stage at Butler Farms Showground. Let me make sure we don't have any dead body brains on this article, because there's been a lot of that out there. No, so we're good. So here, as you can see, we have some photos. Sources said Crooks was planted on a roof of a manufacturing plant. Here's a photo. You see, this is Trump, heroic as hell, and that's it. That's all we got on the guy. So people will continue to look through that guy's social media, and I'm sure a lot more of that will be revealed very shortly. So we're going to keep our eye on that, but we have a name now. So here's what Speaker Mike Johnson said about this. You know, the Speaker of the House. He said, "The House will conduct a full investigation of the tragic events today. The American people deserve to know the truth. We will have Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, the one we talked about, and other appropriate officials from DHS and the FBI appear for a hearing before our committees ASAP." And he's not alone on this. James Comer, you know him, Oversight Committee, has also invited Kimberly Cheadle to come in on Monday. "I'd like to see you in my office on Monday, Kimberly. Americans demand answers." So Oversight Committee, man, they were typing this one up fast. Like, we're at James Comer, man. Shout out to James Comer. Boom! Fired out a letter already. Hey, Kimberly Cheadle, Director, United States Secret Service. Today, President Trump survived an assassination attempt when a gunman fired a weapon at him at a rally at Butler, Pennsylvania. At least one bystander is dead. The tremendous bravery of the individual U.S. Secret Service agents who protected President Trump and eliminated the gunman and possibly averted more loss of life cannot be overstated. The Committee on Oversight and Accountability has initiated an investigation into today's assassination attempt into Trump and request your voluntary appearance for a full committee hearing on July 22nd That's 1 week from Monday. The Committee on Oversight and Accountability is the principal oversight committee, and so we have power to do this. Sincerely, your friend, James Comer. So not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday is what it sounds like. Yes, on the 22nd. All right, so yes, so James Comer is looking into this. J.D. Vance is on the short list for the vice presidential slot. And remember, we're about to pick our vice president, who, you know, if Trump would have been shot in the actual important part of his head, that would have been a big problem. J.D. Vance says, today is not just some isolated incident, obviously. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. And that rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. They've been screaming this every day. Talk about stochastic terrorism. Don't they always say this about Trump and the left? They say, Trump said some bad things. And so Judge Juan Merchan is going to be in danger now because Trump was talking about his daughter who works for the Democrats and works for Joe Biden. So Trump can't talk about that. Trump is gagged. And he can't talk about all sorts of other things. Jack Smith and E. Jean Carroll, and he's limited about what he can say. And they keep telling us it's because there's going to be danger from Trump. But it doesn't work for them, right? Now, if we start to point the fingers at them and say, you keep brainwashing your audience, you keep on MSNBC screaming and lecturing your people that Trump is going to kill you, basically. Like women are going to be little birthing factories and everybody's just going to be impregnating them all the time. We're going to have little babies running. Like, it's a crazy, crazy time with Rachel Maddow is what's on the show. And so if they come out every day and say Trump is literally Hitler, Trump is going to end American democracy, every Democrat has said that. If their rule is that Trump is responsible when he says stuff, then they're responsible for this. It's only fair. No one's above the law. It's their law. So they should all be gagged and maybe even charged as co-conspirators in an attempted assassination if they want to play by those rules. So J.D. Vance is exactly right. And you're going to hear them all saying, we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to hold them accountable. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to be mad at them. And we should just chalk this off to, you know, regular, normal political violence. We're not going to do that. That's the standard. They've set that. So here's another one also explaining how insane this was. A guy with a rifle, this is from Nicholas Irving, who is a special operations sniper, this guy. New York Times best-selling author, does all sorts of cool stuff. He shared this. He says, okay, so a guy with a rifle got within 152 yards from a presidential nominee, unseen, and got shots off? What? We provided better diplomatic security when I was with Triple Canopy as a contractor. Who the F is in charge of the Secret Service? No eyes on a firing position that close. This dude, shout out to Nicholas Irving, says, sketch. Sketch. Right there. It's like any shot, just whatever. Good luck. And hit him. Hit Trump. First try. Amazing shot. So, Drama Alert is posting this. They say some celebrities are now going to be endorsing Donald Trump. It's going to cause some serious reaction. Here, Elon has fully endorsed Trump. I fully endorse Trump. I hope for his rapid recovery. All right, enough already. Enough. Let's get it over with. Hey, Dave Portnoy also jumped in. Says, I just landed and I missed an assassination attempt. Holy crap. What a badass reaction from Trump. The election is over. He's the next president. The Dems should give up. They can't beat him now. So, yeah, I appreciate that energy and enthusiasm, but I have some concerns about that because they just tried to shoot him in the head. So Andrew Tate also says, remember what I told you, you get 3 lives. First, they cancel you. Then they try to put you in jail. If they both fail, they kill you. Faz Banks shared this one. I don't know who that is, but sounds like awesome. Trump 2024, you're right about that. Conor McGregor's in the house saying a 78-year-old multiple billionaire, he should be on a yacht on the Mediterranean touring golf courses. But he's not. He's in Pennsylvania spitting out bullets. Running for the love of his country. Godspeed, Donald. God bless the United States. Logan Paul's out there. Says to survive an assassination attempt by mere millimeters after being shot in the head, then stop your security so you can raise your fist in defiance of death is the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope everyone's okay. Find the shooter. They did. His brain is out. Ivanka came out, says, thank you for your love and prayers for my father and for the other victims of today's senseless violence in Butler, Pennsylvania. I am grateful to the Secret Service and all other law enforcement officers for their quick and decisive actions today. I continue to pray for our country. I love you, Dad, and always. Jake Paul's in the house. He says, if it isn't apparent enough who God wants to win, when you try and kill God's angels and saviors of the world, it just makes them bigger. Good beats evil every time. Shout out to Jake Paul. We had Barack Obama come out. He said, there's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy that they're wrecking. Although we don't know yet exactly what happened, we should be relieved that former Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to commit ourselves to civility and respect in politics. Get the hell out of here, Barack. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Civility and respect. They've been screaming about MAGA insurrectionists for the last 3 years and about how our side is filled with violent, domestic, homegrown, violent extremists. Yeah. So how about no? How about you people behave yourselves with some civility and respect? Stop calling our side Nazis. Don't tell us to relax. Sean Strickland came out. He said, Trump is an utter savage. Man gets shot, he's still for his people. Utter savage. Aiden Ross is out there, says vote Trump. 50 Cent is in the house. 50 Cent says Trump gets shot and now I'm trending because 50 Cent also got shot. Trump is getting president or die trying, baby. 50 Trump in the house. And you can see a lot of good reaction out there all across America. Now, what's interesting is some stupid entities like this, like for example, here in Arizona, we have the Arizona Central, and this magazine that apparently some people still read, wrote this on X. They posted this at 7:20, long after we knew what happened. Here's what they wrote. This is what some people in the media are writing. This is a real headline. This is a real tweet. Trump removed from the stage by the Secret Service after loud noises startles the former president and the crowd. Okay? It's a real article. All right? Trump was removed from the stage because there were some loud noises. Arizona Central. Well done. So there's a lot of that out there, and everybody's wait for the facts. I'm not so sure we need to wait all that much for the facts. I mean, there's a lot more we want to know, but certainly looks like Trump got a bullet in his ear. So Elon Musk says, this is an interesting story, and we read through this full thing. If you were a membo joining us on Locals or on YouTube, we had a full membos only stream this morning before the assassination attempt. And we read this full article, and it was a wild scene, but Elon shared this. He says, the Reid Hoffmans of the world got their dearest wish, but the martyr lived. There was a back and forth. You guys know who Peter Thiel is, PayPal guy, and Reid Hoffman is somebody we've talked a lot about here. Reid Hoffman was the guy who funded the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit against Trump and has also funded all sorts of Democratic lawfare litigation. So what happened in this exchange was Reid Hoffman and Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel really supported Trump in 2016, fell off in 2020, probably is going to fall off in 2024. But they were in the middle of this giant conference with all the billionaires. And Reid Hoffman, the guy who hates Trump, there was an exchange. In one exchange that one source described as the dagger and another as the twist of the knife, Peter Thiel sarcastically thanked Reid Hoffman for funding lawsuits against Trump. He said, hey, Reid, thanks for all your great work. Like every time you sue Trump, he just gets stronger. You've made him a martyr and you increase his chances of re-election. So Peter Thiel says to Reid Hoffman, it's like so condescending, I am so grateful for you. You just keep making us win. So then Reid Hoffman shot back with his own sarcastic quip. He says, yeah, I wish I had made him an actual martyr. That was Reid Hoffman who said that in front of a bunch of people. It was reported in the news. And that, on that very uncomfortable note, the exchange ended. Both Hoffman and Thiel did not respond to emails, and that was it. Uh-oh. Very strange. So now Elon is saying, yeah, got your wish, man. You wanted him shot and or martyred, and now he was almost there. So is that what you really want, Reid? This one came out from Bill Ackman. He's also saying, I'm going to formally endorse Donald Trump at this point. Here's another billionaire dude. He says, I came to this decision some time ago, but now I've formally done it. I'm explaining my conclusion. And he says, remember, media organizations are like sports teams. They are not unbiased arbiters of truth, and they're going to continue to try to manipulate this narrative to serve them. This one also came out from AOC, seeing what she said about it. says there is no place for political violence, including the horrific incident that was in Pennsylvania. You're going to call it an assassination attempt or no? It is absolutely unacceptable and must be denounced in the strongest possible terms. Yeah, this isn't political violence, okay? I mean, it is. It's a subset of a political violence, but I don't want to let them get away with this little phrase. Political violence, okay, like we've seen a lot of that. Political violence is more like in 2020 when they had the fiery but mostly peaceful protests where they were torching down the 3rd Minneapolis precinct, stuff like that, right? That's political violence. Black Lives Matter was a great example of political violence, a lot of political violence in that organization. But this was an assassination attempt. It was also political violence, but it was an assassination attempt. And so that is a whole different thing. It's not like they took someone's yard sign out or punched somebody in the face at a bar because they had a dispute. This was somebody trying to take out the lead candidate, Donald Trump, a former president, and almost doing it by millimeters, by inches. So, okay, it's not just political violence, all right? This wasn't BLM. My heart goes out to all the victims, and I wish the former president a speedy recovery. Thanks for your guidance there. Now, Elon says there are dangerous times. They're trying to kill him too. 2 people, separate occasions, have already tried to kill me in the past 8 months. They were arrested with guns 20 minutes from Tesla. So he'll be on the next list here. Hey, Patrick Bet David, we know who he is. He does great work on the YouTubes. He had some reaction. He says, to those saying the election is over and Trump will win by a landslide, you're being naive. Yeah, here are my concerns. Yeah, great point. He's got to be alive to win. Yeah, if they shoot him again, it's going to be a problem. Secret Service might be incompetent. Too many blind spots. We got to have a better system of protection. One bystander said he saw a shooter climbing up the top of a building, as we saw. Everything needs to be upgraded. Says this is insane. The RNC needs to double down on end-to-end security in Milwaukee, bomb squads. And we're very curious where this is going to go. Now, they're going to do everything they can to make this not some lefty individual. They're going to try to make this, of course, probably, if I had to guess where this guy came from, that we know is now named Timothy, what was his name? Let's see, I have it here. Yes, Thomas Matthew Crooks is the guy's name. And let's see if there's any more breaking news on that. But yeah, he has been identified. If I had to guess where he came from, like if they could pin it on anybody that they wanted, do you know where he'd come from? Come on, you know. You already know. Russia. Putin. He's probably like Putin's cousin or something, right? So, yeah, apparently this is what the guy looks like. There's this photo going around, so we'll just share it and just let you see it so that we all have it. Here it is. Here's that photograph of this guy. And apparently there is another one that looks like this. This may have been from the scene. So he's wearing a shirt. Looks like an interesting shirt there. So that's the guy. And let's see. People are searching around all over the place for him. New York Post is reporting some stuff. And let's see what else we've got. Hey, the Prime Minister of India has spoken out. And here's what he says. He writes, Modi, he is the Prime Minister of India, says, I'm deeply concerned about the attack on my friend, former President Donald Trump. I strongly condemn this incident. Violence has no place in politics and democracies, and I wish him a speedy recovery. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the deceased, those injured, and the American people. So world leaders are now starting to come out with their statements. Let's see if Trump has posted anything else. No, Trump has the same message on Truth. But my understanding is he is now out of the hospital. And so let's see. What else do we have cooking? And of course, I want to hear from you, see what you guys say about this. Here's one from Dave Smith. He says, how the F can you say, Dave Smith's great. He says, we love Dave Smith here. Comic Dave Smith, he says, how the F can you say he's literally Hitler and democracy is on the line, but then wish him a speedy recovery? Yeah, exactly. And saying political violence is never acceptable. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does not compute. If you've been saying any of that insane stuff, then at least have the integrity to admit this is the logical conclusion of your lies. Great comment from Dave Smith. And that is right at AOC. I mean, that applies to the tweet that AOC just said. I hope he gets well. You just said he's like going to wreck American democracy. So which is it? Do you think you want him well, or do you think maybe you kind of have some sympathies with the shooter? And I hate to say that, but if they think it's Hitler and they think Trump is going to wreck America, don't you want to stop that? Wouldn't that be a high priority for you? So we are going to keep scrolling a bit. Thomas Massey shared something. We're waiting for all the breaking stuff. Thomas Massey just dropped this one. He says, the same bureau that investigated the Las Vegas shooting and the January 6th pipe bombs is now investigating the attempted assassination of Trump. And we just want to pause and say, man, Thomas Massey, we're sending some good love and prayers your way, brother. Says the same bureau that investigated the Las Vegas shooting and the January 6th pipe bombs is now investigating the attempted assassination of Trump. Great. This is also the same bureau that raided Mar-a-Lago. Great. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of this one very soon. Yeah, if they're not already, behind it. So, all right, great one from Thomas Massey. And I think there will continue to be breaking news throughout the night. We're trying to see if we can capture the highlights while they're fresh. And here looks like a new video. Watch. Here's a new video showing people trying to warn the police before the shooting. So let's listen to this one. This one just came in from breaking news. Don't know what's on it. Let's listen.
And that's a little bit of
He's got a gun!
Wow. You heard that. He's on the roof. He's got a gun. He's on the roof. He's got a gun. Then the bullets start going. And then they got him.
And that's a little bit of
He's got a gun!
Shooter. Secret Service. Shooter, Secret Service. You heard that. They were screaming he's got a gun before the Secret Service even knew. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so my friends, what a night. What a historic night. I'm still trying to assemble and process everything, and I'm just so grateful that Trump is not dead after being shot in the head. Absolutely unbelievable night. Massey also said, it's long past time to put the pettiness aside, grant Secret Service protection to Robert F. Kennedy. Probably a good idea. And TMZ apparently has the video of the lunatic firing. So Trump rally gunman was seen opening fire. So they have video of him opening fire, which we're not going to play here today. But it's out there if you want to go check it out. Comfortably Smug has it. TMZ has it. And we're not going to play that. We'll identify him, but we're not going to play him shooting people. Laura Loomer, I'm already on it, says, geez, Laura Loomer's posting. Hey, Bezos is here posting. And the FBI, the FBI came out with something 9 minutes ago. Okay, so the FBI is also out. So let's see what the FBI has for us. So I figured there's going to be more reaction. Jeff Bezos posted this. Our former president showed tremendous grace and courage under literal fire tonight. It's insane. So thankful for his safety and so sad for the victims and their families. Thank you, Jeff. Here's what the FBI said. So just minutes ago, they came out. Here was a hearing from C-SPAN. This is what they said.
All right. So my name is Kevin Rojek. That's R-O-J-E-K. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI Pittsburgh field office. The first thing I want to say is that the FBI stands with the people.
Okay, we're going to pause this because this is live right now.
Yeah, the campaign.
This is live right now, but we're going to watch it from the beginning. And we're just going to fast forward into it.
Are we ready? All right. So my name is Kevin Rojek. That's R-O-J-E-K. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI Pittsburgh field office. The first thing I want to say is that the FBI stands with the people of Butler County in Western Pennsylvania, and our hearts go out to the victims of this heinous act which occurred today. This is our community, and I want to let the public know that the FBI has deployed a number of our resources, including investigative agents, our evidence response team, bomb technicians, and we have additional resources coming from other field offices,
FBI,
as well as from
great.
FBI headquarters, including our evidence response from Quantico, Virginia. We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done. Right now, we need the public's help. Anyone who was on scene, who saw anything, who identified any information, please report that to the FBI using either the phone number 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at fbi.gov/Butler. This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president.
Yes,
Donald
we
Trump.
did. Yes, we did.
It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene. We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well. Again, at this time, we are not prepared to identify who the shooter is. We are close to that identification, and as soon as we are 100% confident in who that individual is, we will share it with the press. With that being said, also, we do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was. At this time, I'm going to turn over the podium to Colonel Chris Paris from the Pennsylvania State Police.
Thank you very much. My name is Colonel Chris Paris, P-A-R-I-S, Commissioner of Pennsylvania State Police. I would just like to say that the State Police have been in regular contact with the Governor's Office, and the full support and assets of the entire agency are behind the FBI and our other federal and municipal partners to assist with this investigation. The thoughts and prayers of the Pennsylvania State Police are likewise with the victims of this terrible act. We are prepared to support this investigation in any way, shape, or form, and we stand ready to participate in a full, fair, and competent and thorough investigation. To give you an operational rundown, Deputy Commissioner of Operations, Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, is behind me, and he will discuss the operational portion that's being conducted by the Pennsylvania State Police. Lieutenant Colonel Bivens.
Good evening. So let me describe for you a little bit about the scene that we have over there. As you know, there was a grandstand, a very large area, a lot of people there when this all unfolded. The former president had come out and begun to speak shortly after 6 o'clock this evening, and within about 10 to 15 minutes, a number of sounds were heard, and it became apparent that shots were being fired in that direction. It was a chaotic scene. Law enforcement, I believe, acted heroically, quickly identifying and neutralizing the threat, as well as responding to assist the various victims. PSP had a significant presence on the scene along with all of our federal partners at the time of the shooting. We have since enhanced that presence significantly, bringing in resources from all over the Commonwealth to ensure that we have a speedy, thorough investigation. We are working very closely with the FBI as we work through this. As you can imagine, because of the variety of crimes that have been committed, some are under federal jurisdiction, some are under state jurisdiction. And so, we're working through all of that, not an issue at all. We work seamlessly. But the FBI has maintained the lead on the attempted assassination. PSP will take the lead on the homicide and the shootings of the other individuals in the grandstand area. And so there are a lot of witnesses to be interviewed, a lot of things to be processed. There were some complicators that hopefully the next time we speak we can describe for you, but some complicators that slowed down some of the processing and the positive identification of the shooter. But know that at this time we have no reason to believe that there is any other existing threat out there. We are doing everything we can to make sure that this is thoroughly investigated, and that if there is any information developed that anyone else was involved, that between PSP and the FBI, that will very quickly be followed up on. So I think at this time we would open it up to questions from all of you.
Was this a lone wolf attack?
Again, I think it's too early to say that. We have one shooter tentatively identified, but We're not stopping there. We're following up on a lot of information. It will be some time until we can conclusively say or answer that question, I think. Again, that'll all be part of the investigation, but I can tell you that preliminarily it appears everything unfolded very quickly. So, again, we'll have more information on that, but it's just too early to start definitively saying this happened at this exact time. That's correct. We'll have that information for you. It was some distance outside of the security perimeter.
Reports that there were people who saw someone on the roof and tried to alert authorities.
We're following up on those. I will tell you that I am aware of those, and I am aware that law enforcement had responded to a number of reports of suspicious activity. The specific response to this will be all part of the after action, but yes, law enforcement was responding to check on several suspicious occurrences.
What were the other suspicious occurrences?
That'll all be part of the investigation.
So you said that you're close to identifying the shooter. Could you at least confirm that he is from Butler County, Pennsylvania? Is there anything else? Did he have any affiliation with that company, do you know?
So again, we're not prepared at this time to provide the identity of the potential shooter. We're in the process of doing the confirmation, and once we have the confirmation, we'll release the name officially to the press. But at this time, we can't give any further information on the potential shooter.
I think the press had it before they released it.
So it's a matter of doing biometric confirmations. So there was no identification on the individual, as an example. We're looking at photographs right now, and we're trying to run his DNA and get biometric confirmation on.
Would you be able to comment just what police found left behind? Any possible devices? Did you find any actual guns? Just anything else you'd be willing to comment?
Not at this time. No, we're still in the process of an active investigation. So we'd like to reserve releasing any information like that until we have more facts. From the FBI's perspective, no. We did not have any specific threat information related to this event.
You talked about how it happened so quickly, and we know that there is at least 2 casualties, including the gunman at this point, that we're aware of. It could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Comment more about that and how it was taken care of so quickly.
So I think the credit goes to not only the Secret Service, who was on site, but also the state and local partners who were there on site and were able to react immediately when the incident occurred.
Do you know how many officers fired their weapons?
I do not.
I understand that it's very early.
Volume's at max. Let me try a different.
Really, at this point, we're not going to make that assessment. There's an active investigation. A lot of things need to occur investigatively to make those determinations of what, if any, failures there were. So really, we can't comment on that at this time.
You can say.
All right, let me try to swap to a different audio. I don't know if it's going to be any better or not, but I know people are complaining about the audio, so we can swap it over on YouTube and see if it's louder at all.
Resources coming from other field offices, as well as from FBI headquarters.
Actually, that's just my apologies. That's not the full thing. So let's see if they stream that over here. Don't know if they did or not. So let's see. Yeah, they did not. All right, so let's just carry it back on here.
The buildings, or we're keeping a close eye, or
Really have to defer to Secret Service for those questions. Are you saying the location where the shooter was located? I don't have any information on that. You'd have to refer to Secret Service.
when do you think you will release? When will the name of the shooter be released? I mean, anything when it might happen, tomorrow, or?
So that'll be as soon as we've confirmed 100%, we're willing to release that. So if we have, as far as the contact information for the press, we should be able to do that within the next few hours, I imagine.
There was people being checked out Park from here, but also heard possible related scene in Bedford Park. Is there anything you can tell us tonight about other areas where law enforcement may be searching in relation to this?
Again, right now we're tracking down all leads and doing all interviews and tracking anything that we can regarding suspicious locations, vehicles, locations, interviewing individuals. That's all related to this event, but I can't confirm or deny anything that's going on beyond that.
Can you tell us about the weapon that the shooter used?
As far as the details of the weapon?
Yeah, what kind of rifle?
Do you want to comment on that? Okay, until we have the confirmation of who the shooter is, and we'll release that as part of the investigative.
Not a lot of information.
Extra resources, and one of the things that you said was
bomb technician. So is this standard procedure, or do you have reasons to believe that there are bombs somewhere in Butler County?
It's primarily standard procedure of any suspicious packages. In this case, there was identification of suspicious packages around where the shooter was, and so we deployed, in an abundance of caution, bomb assets to make sure that those were cleared for investigators to move safely in the area. We're still working on, it's still an active crime scene, so I'm not going to say that the scene is 100% clear at this time. So Secret Service wasn't available for the press conference at this time.
No Secret Service.
Really anything. I don't have specifics on what they were looking at, but you know, there's people in the crowd will leave bags as they're fleeing the scene like this. So any suspicious packages we have to treat as it may be an explosive device.
When you guys jumped into action, how long was it able to take down the shooter? How quickly did everybody jump in and who ended up taking out?
So it was immediate, and it was. We're still trying to figure that out. So we'll wait till we have more definitive information regarding that investigatively.
Okay, how's my mic volume now? Is that better?
My understanding was it was from the shooter, but again, those will be details that are released later.
Do you search homes or apartments as a part of your method of identification?
Trying to level my mic with the audio.
If that's where the leads take us, absolutely.
Was Donald Trump hit with a bullet, you know for sure, or was it potentially something else that could have?
I don't have that specific information as far as the injuries to the former president.
I understand you're releasing the suspect's identification right now, but as you know, is this person known to you guys? Is he somebody that
Thanks, guys.
looking at you, that he's possibly made online, et cetera, et cetera?
Again, the information that we currently have, we're looking at that obviously very intently, and as we know that information, we'll release that as well. So we'll need to plan another time for a follow-up press conference. We're looking at all investigative leads and all everything from, and that's why we ask the public, because I'm sure there'll be cell phone video, there'll be all kinds of information that we'll use to fully flesh out exactly what happened here.
I think you're saying you can't say what type of gun it is. Do you know how many shots were fired?
I don't. I don't have that information as far as that'll come out in the investigation as well.
Well, don't even know how many shots.
As far as the civilians, yeah.
So we do have identification on those. We're not prepared to release it at this time. We have notified a number of family members, but they have not had an opportunity to notify extended family and things. I would confirm for you that we did have one individual killed, and I know I heard somebody say about 2 victims. There were 3 in total besides the former president. So 2 critically wounded, 1 killed.
At this point, you know they were sitting near each other and where in relation to the former president?
I don't have their exact seating by individual. Again, that'll all be part of the investigation, but their shots were scattered somewhat, and so they weren't just into one particular location.
You're saying just one fatality as of right now?
Yes.
The shooter and one fatality.
The shooter plus 1 fatality.
Okay.
So there was 1 victim of the shooter who was killed, and then the shooter was killed. Yes, ma'am.
Witnesses say they saw a semi-automatic rifle used by the shooter. Can you share any details of this? That's what
I've heard those reports as well, and again, we do have a good idea of what the weapon was, but again, that's all part of the ongoing investigation. And I'm not trying to be cagey about that. You know, when the SAC talked about the need to be very methodical and to be cautious with that scene, we are doing just that. We don't want anybody else getting hurt. And candidly, there are some concerns that we'll be able to talk more about later on about just what those concerns are and continue to be. That's all part of the investigation.
After the event, there were a lot of really angry people. Are you monitoring if there have been any threats in response to this? Are you worried if there have been any specific threats?
That's certainly a concern, and you know, we're monitoring that whole situation. I mentioned that we're bringing a lot of assets to bear, and so like the FBI utilizing their analysts, we also have the Pennsylvania Criminal Intelligence Center. We will utilize the resources of our intelligence division and the Criminal Intelligence Center to be able to monitor for concerns about any threats, regardless of the side of the issue or the political spectrum. We want to make sure that we try and avoid any further violence.
Nothing specific so far?
No, sir.
Without identifying by name, can you say anything about the other folks who were injured or killed? Were they adults, men, male, female, anything else?
They were adults, and they're male.
All 3?
Yes.
How difficult it is for the department now, where all the departments become talking family members and the civilians who are not down, all these things go rally to try and, celebrate, I guess, the upcoming election. What are those conversations like, and how do you kind of get through that?
We have trained investigators, and we're partnered hand in hand with the FBI, again, because we've got some federal violations, some state violations, and so our investigators are going out methodically. We have a large team of investigators that are going out, dividing up these interviews and trying to conduct them as quickly as possible, and then there'll be follow-ups. With the FBI asking for people to call in tips, I have no doubt that we will receive a lot of additional information that will also require follow-up. But again, we're working very well together, and it's only a short matter of time until we get through all of those interviews.
How close a call was it for President Trump?
There were no police hit with bullets.
From your experience, how close a call was it for?
I'm not going to speculate or comment on that.
Have any of you talked to the president? Did any of you have any kind of reaction?
No.
Which law enforcement agencies were tasked with securing this particular rally outside of the United States Secret Service?
Well, Secret Service always has the lead on securing something like this, but then they work very closely. And I hate to use the word routine, but it is a fairly routine matter for all of our agencies to work jointly with the Secret Service. And it really depends on the venue, on what information is out there, what number of resources are devoted to it, and we work with them to provide whatever is requested by the Secret Service, but they're the lead in that security.
Was there anything about this venue that made it particularly difficult to secure?
I would defer to the Secret Service to answer that. They would have done the initial assessment.
Was the rooftop part of what was being secured? Was the rooftop given its proximity to the event part of that process?
It's my understanding that was outside of the perimeter.
Did this shooter have any previous history?
We're not going to comment on anything about the shooter.
Did the agency deny Trump's team extra security? Any of the agencies that are out there?
Not that I'm aware of.
If Trump had been the nominee already, would he have had additional security for this event?
There again, Secret Service has the lead, and I'm not going to comment or speculate on what may or may not be provided at any given point, depending on their status as a candidate. What I will tell you is that, in my experience, the Secret Service does an excellent job of maintaining security on protectees. They're very cautious. They don't hesitate to ask for resources, and candidly, we don't hesitate to supply those resources.
You're asking for the public's help. Can you elaborate and be more specific about what you really like to see from the public? Videos, photos, personal accounts?
I think the videos and photos would be very helpful. And I think that once the shooter is identified, anyone that has specific information on that shooter, that would be very helpful as well to help us assess motive. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we are absolutely not taking for granted that this was a lone wolf attack. And so we would be looking for any additional information that might point us toward anybody else that may have had a hand in this.
Sir, at this point, what is the main focus of the investigation? What's the most important thing for you right now, a few hours?
Well, there's not any one single focus. I mean, certainly the immediate focus was life safety, getting the former president out of there, and to care, getting care to the other victims, and trying to secure the scene as quickly as possible. It shifted then from a life safety priority to then an investigative priority. And so I guess if I had to point to where we are right now, the single greatest priority would be to identifying a motive and whether there was anyone else involved.
We're just beginning the political season. Are you guys concerned with all of these rallies that happen and how they're set up? Is this going to change maybe the venues?
Again, I would refer you to the Secret Service in terms of what they work out with the campaigns. We will continue to supply resources, as I'm sure the FBI will, and local partners as well.
When this was announced, it was quite a few days ahead up that people get ready to come to this Trump rally from a law enforcement perspective. When you announce a big event like this, all that time in advance, like a week out, does it give people more time to plan something like this?
Well, I suppose, but there's a balance, I would think, that any of the campaigns on either side try to weigh. I mean, the point of them announcing it, I suspect, is because they want the crowd, and so it's not up to us in law enforcement to tell them when they should announce or how they should announce or how they should conduct it. We offer our best advice. Again, working hand in hand with the Secret Service, offer our best advice of how best to secure and protect that venue.
Sir, considering how...
All right, so that was what C-SPAN had for us, and it just cut out right there. So must be most of it. And don't know that we got that much new information out of there, actually. So a lot of the investigation still ongoing, as we could understand, just happened a few short hours ago. But, all right, so we do know that the Secret Service is going to be involved in the investigation, run by Kimberly Cheadle, who's terrible at her job. And obviously that was indicative of what we saw today. But it's also going to be run by the FBI. Great. The same FBI who rigged 2016, who rigged 2020, and who are trying to rig 2024. Great. So those people are going to be hard at work to get to the bottom of this. Whew! I'm relieved. So I said earlier that I was not going to share that video of the audience seeing the shooter before he fired at Trump. But it's worth sharing, and I don't think it's going to show anything that we were worried it was going to show. So let me share this. This just came out from our friend Amuse. If you don't follow Amuse on X, I'd highly encourage you to do it because he's great. Also clipped over from Roz Alerts, another great follow. Says, here's video of the audience seeing the shooter before he fired at Trump. And this is insane. Okay, why is the audience seeing this dude before the Secret Service is seeing this dude? This is incredible. Here it is. They're all standing right there watching this dude, videoing this dude. He's right there. Let me move myself out of the way. He's right here. Then he starts shooting. Profanity warning.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
All right, so we know what happens after that. So they've got it all blurred out for us, which is good news. But new video obtained by TMZ shows the shooter, reportedly identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, opening fire at former President Trump. In the background, a woman is heard yelling at Crooks, "What are you doing? Get over here!" Screaming to everybody. Right? That this is not good. So Matt Taibbi, you know who he is, has posted this one as well. He went and did some digging on this. He says Politico should probably release this audio from this interview with Joe Biden. Politico shared this one, and defiant Biden donors tell donors we're done talking about the debate. Defiant Biden tells donors, stop talking about the debate. There was a recording obtained by Politico. Says a defiant Joe Biden insisted to donors on Monday that he is done talking about the debate and implored the party to ignore any further distractions and direct its attention back to Trump. We need to move forward, they said. Look, we have roughly 40 days till the convention, 120 days till the election. We can't waste any more time being distracted, said Biden in a call with Politico. Now, apparently in that same call, he said this: I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. That's Joe Biden. And if Trump said anything like this and this happened, they would say Trump authorized sarcastically. He used his secret language dog whistle to order an assassination of Joe. That's what they say. That's what Michael Cohen said. Michael Cohen said when Trump was tweeting about him, he knew he was talking about Michael Cohen. So, put Trump in a bullseye, huh? Very interesting from President Joe Biden. And guess what? Trump was in a bullseye. Shot in the head. So Matt Taibbi has that for us. And of course, Donald Trump and the team put out a new statement. And this is good news. Here's a statement from Donald Trump. They dropped that one not too long ago. From Team Trump says, as was communicated earlier this evening, President Trump is doing well and grateful to law enforcement. President Trump looks forward to joining you all in Milwaukee as we proceed with our convention to nominate him and serve as the 47th President of the United States. As our party's nominee, President Trump will continue to share his vision to make America great again. Sincerely, Donald Trump and other advisors, and Laura Trump and the Republicans. So, interesting stuff there. Let's see if Trump had anything else on his official account. And he does not. So, it has been just a day, an afternoon and a day. Something that I think is going to take, I don't know about you, but me, at least a week to process. This was something that we all would even joke about almost and kind of watch how dangerous things were getting. But even here on this channel, we didn't like to theorize too much about it. You know, there's been times here where there'll be clips from journalists and other people joking about. Maybe somebody will just take them out, you know. And I want to play those clips because I want to show you who these people are. But I don't want to be somebody who puts that into the ether and, you know, basically manifest that to happen. And of course, it has come. It is here. And we have a lot more details that we need to get to. But Trump shot, assassination attempt. He survived it. We have been watching what they've been doing to this man for the last decades, or half decade plus, and now it's reached the final horrible, horrendous climax. So we're grateful that Trump is well. We are grateful to God for that slight millimeter or inch of margin, mistake, wind, I don't know. But he's here. And I don't know how else to say that other than maybe there's some divine inspiration, divine intervention on this. And it reminds me of a clip of a tweet from Newt Gingrich that he shared some time ago. And this was a powerful one. Don't know if it's going to come back up. Let me see if I can find this from Newt, because he does tweet a lot. But Newt Gingrich some time ago, he says, you know, a few days ago on July 8th, Newt Gingrich shared this. Very interesting from Newt. He says, we are living through a remarkable period which is worthy of humbly thanking God. These last few months have almost had providential actions which no one could have predicted. Presidents Lincoln and Washington both had the sense that the hand of God created and then preserved the Union. We may be entering a similar process since the core crisis of this country has reached historic proportions, and President Trump is the only agent strong enough to rebuild America. Incredible. So that's from Newt Gingrich. He posted that days ago, and it's more appropriate now than ever. There is something happening here. I don't know how you shoot somebody in the head and miss by millimeters. Unbelievable. So more will be revealed on who this individual is. We're going to continue to cover this, of course, my friends. Now, let's hear from you. Let's see what you guys say about all this. It's been a heck of a night and a day. And I'm really grateful that we got to go through some of this together. Thanks for your understanding that I don't even know what the hell to say, because this has just been something that has been earth-shattering and sent my stomach into knots when I first heard it. So let's see what you say about this, my friends. I see some great donos have come in, and I'm really appreciative of those. I want to make sure that we can say hello to all of our friends. And let's see here. We have... I wanted to see if I could use Telegram again, but I'm having problems with Telegram. I can't really share anything from Telegram when I'm on this mobile setup. So let's see what we've got. We had this one from Mustafa in the house. What's up, Mustafa? Says, evil people don't get assassinated and good people don't play God. From Mustafa in the house. Hey, what's up, Cheryl? Cheryl's been a membo for 2 months. Thank you, Cheryl. Says, I was hoping you'd go live. I'm distraught. Yeah, I understand, Cheryl. I understand completely. I was feeling the same. I still feel the same. I'm really grateful that he's alive and well, but I think it's changed a lot. I don't think that we're in the same timeline anymore at all. What's up, Emil? 5 membos, gifted membos. Emil in the house. And let's see who came in from those. Tam Tam. We got Christy OG. Thank you, Donut. So Donut Mind Me's clipping hard for us today. Thank you, Donut. Lane Christensen. We got Greg W. And stick 'em up, punk. It's the fun-loving conservative. Became a new member. Welcome aboard. And thank you, Emil, for bringing in 5 new membos. And for Donut for clipping for us. This one came out from Reborn Art and Healing. Or Be Reborn Art and Healing. Says, we need Jesus. We must get on our knees and pray for the heart of this nation. Thank you, Robert, for carving time out to meet with us. Thank you, Be Reborn. Honestly, I'm grateful to spend it with you. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. It's our country. It's our president. It's an insane time. We're exactly where we need to be. Thanks for joining us, Pam. B Reborn. We got this one from Philip B. Says, I remember JFK, Bobby, and Martin. God was there. God was there. I don't know how else to explain that. Inches, millimeters from a dead man. I don't know how else to explain it. I think that's the only answer. One old guy's opinions in the house says, has anyone ever read JFK and the Unspeakable by James W. Douglas? It put an excellent argument for the deep state CIA assassination. You are seeing what is described in that book at work right now. It was inches away from killing Trump. Yeah, I mean, RFK has said multiple times, I think, that he thinks that it was the CIA who was involved and other people were involved, so why wouldn't it be? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Military vet, what's up? 3% tax started a revolution. Yeah, now we're okay with like 50%. Now we're just like, well, we want roads, don't you, Rob? You like your roads you're on. Okay, so that costs what? Half my income for that? Interesting. Hey, Donna Newland, what's up? Was watching live, my heart sank. Couldn't breathe. I can't even imagine watching it live. When I saw the news on my phone, I went, oh, I don't even, yeah, oh, we're good, Donna. We made it through it. It's going to create some new energy, I think it takes the game to a new level. It takes the game to a whole new level. We're playing in a whole different game. It's not just, it's all fun and games until someone gets shot in the head. You know what I'm saying? And Trump got shot in the head. Hey, what's up, Lars? Thank you for this one. Fight, mega fight, says Lars. Good to see you, Lars. Thanks for watching, for whatever it is you're joining us from. We got one old guy. One old guy's opinion says there is a deep CIA plant within Trump's security team. Think about how could a man with a rifle get that close to the former president and possibly the next president of the USA? They got JFK the same way. I don't know how else to explain it. In total incompetence, I mean, if everything else is incompetent around us, I mean, the border's broken, military's doing some interesting things. You know, we've got with our Secretary of State, Blinken, and Lloyd Austin, there's weird stuff going on. A lot of incompetence in our federal government. Why wouldn't that also spill over to the Secret Service? Does it need to be more complicated than that? I don't know. Hey, what's up, Chris One? Chris One gifted membos. Thank you, Chris One, for gifting some membos. Look who's coming in. We got this one. Redeemed Patriot in the house. We got Betsy, 2001 Dirty Secret My Awakening, joining us. Jason A. and Steven, all gifted membos, courtesy of Chris One. Thank you, Chris, for bringing in 5 new membos. Hey, Gustav, been a membo for 14 months. Still going to the UFC fight tonight. That's a champion. Trump's going to go and still show up there. I read that at the UFC. Is that happening now? Probably. Thank you for that, Gustav. We got Chris One says the shot heard around the world. No doubt about that. And I'm sure there'll be more reactions from the rest of the world. They're still waking up. They'll be waking up tomorrow here in the news. King Ginger says, remember Democrats tried to take away his secret security team? Yeah, they did. And they have a bill, I think, that the Democrats have put forward, removing Secret Service from convicted felons. Some act like, it's called the Disgrace Act, yeah. And I think Benny Thompson was behind that. They still want to take away his Secret Service now, huh? Maybe that's why, so that they can take him out. Hey, what's up, David D? Says Trump is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. If there was any doubt about it, that has now been settled. And I saw a great X post. I forget who said it, but somebody said something like, Trump has now been jailed and he's been shot, which makes him as authentic and street as anything, right? It's like, wow, that dude, he's like legendary status. It's incredible. Hey, what's up, Kelly R? I wonder if the Secret Service shot just as the shooter shot. You could hear 2 before Trump grabbed his ear. It sounded to me like there was like pop, pop, pop from him and then pop, pop, pop the other way, taking him out. But who knows? You could be absolutely right about that. And what's so interesting is that they don't really, we never really know. I was listening to an RFK Jr. talk. He was being interviewed by somebody. And I think he said something like that. He's like, well, they reported there were 4 bullets, but I think there were more like 8 bullets. And my brother actually got shot in the back from some other dude. They said he got shot in the front. And so they just kind of recreate it however they want. What's going on, Philip B? Says 1 inch more, they would have nominated a rhino. Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of other Republicans we're a lot closer to the presidency, which is just a sick thing to even think about, but it's true. ICU says the Secret Service sniper on the roof to the Trump's right shot first, then Trump turned his head and it saved his life. So Trump just like turned his head. Otherwise he would have been dead. Amazing. ICU, thanks for that. One old guy's opinion says, this guy is right. Why was there no Secret Service on all the roofs? Dead man can tell no lies. Of course they killed him. That man just told you who they were looking at. Yeah. I mean, we saw that with Kennedy, right? Lee Harvey Oswald gets shot by Jack Ruby. Isn't that fun? Very curious times. Military vet says Trump was set up by our government. Wouldn't be the first time. They tried to set him up with a fake Russian PP tape in 2016. They tried to set him up in 2020 with the Mueller impeachment hoax. All of that stuff, right? All of that was the government manufacturing evidence to try to take out Trump. They have created criminal cases to try to imprison him. Look. Months ago, we would just go through this little escalatory path, this dangerous escalation. And it would start with these little, name calling, and then Trump would have somebody attack somebody else, and it turns into civil lawsuits, then it turns into criminal lawsuits, then it turns into imprisonment, then it turns into assassination. And as we were walking up this, we're like, we all know where this goes, we all know where this is going, and it's here. But we never really thought it would be here, but it's here. So why wouldn't they? I mean, if they set him up before, why wouldn't they do it again? Hey, this one is from Albert Chrisman. Says, my wife just said, Trump may have been shot, but it's Biden who just got the nail in his coffin. Ooh, that's a good line. Shout out to your wife, Albert. That's a pretty good line right there. She on X? She should X that. That's a good one. Hey, what's going on, Albert? Thanks for that. And one old guy's opinion says, the interviewee just told you who they were looking at. He was not looking at the roof across the street. You were way off. Thought you were a criminal defense lawyer. Oh, well, me too. I thought I was too, but apparently I'm not, according to you. Thanks. Here's one from JT's Republic. A defining moment in history. This shall not stand. One true republic is at stake. God bless the USA and God bless Trump. America, red eye, Trump, eagle, USA. Amazing. We got some great new gifts in the chat, and we love those. Thank you, JT's Republic, for using them. Honey Badger says, looking that way, how did he not prevent it? Good questions. Secret Service were looking that way too. Philip Butler says Biden couldn't use his prepared speech because he lived. Terrible. This one from Cowgirl for God says, the 1990s gave us the Teflon Don and the 2020s give us the Teflon Donald. God bless the USA. God bless you right back, Cowgirl. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for the dono. Thanks for being here going through this madness. And Don Goff said they had to confirm the threat first. Ear, not head. The ear is on the head. So it's the head. They shot the ear on the head. That's my final answer. You might say it's your ear, it's not your head, but it's on your head. So it's a body part attached to the head. So they didn't shoot his torso. They didn't shoot a leg. They didn't shoot an arm. They shot a head. Happens to be an ear, which is attached to the head. This one from Military Vet says, 10-year vet, the shooter was not an amateur, definitely a government setup. There you go, right there from Military Vet. Thank you, sir, for your service and your expertise here tonight. Me Mom says, I didn't understand and don't understand why that roof wasn't secure. It stinks. It does. It seems like it was the only roof in that area, quite frankly. It was a big building right there. Might want to have someone on that. Hey, Michael W. says, if Trump didn't turn his head to the right, he would have most likely have died rather than receiving a graze. If I'm not mistaken, law enforcement gets scissor lifts or something for these events to get much better overwatch. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it was really very, very close. And it'd be interesting to watch the high definition recreation of this. I mean, how far? I mean, it hit him in the ear. So he must have just, like that movement, like this right here. Like, it's okay. So the bullet's coming for your head. I go like this. I mean, like, even if it's like here, I go like this. It hits your ear. I go, It's a slight little. Yeah, it's Sick. What's up? One old guy's opinion says the Secret Service, CIA, and the FBI deep state, just like JFK, all in on it. The Rod Rodriguez says, Dear Lord, thank you for your grace today. Membo for 1 month. Thanks for being here for 1 month, the Roz Rodriguez. You're right about that. It was an amazingly blessed day. We had, in spite of the horrors, what we had today. I mean, look, and I don't want to say, like, there's a dead person, okay, and there's other people who were shot. So we have to recognize that as well. There's a dead person who's shot by a murderer and an assassin, and so we pray for those families as well. But this could have really been a powder keg that went off and exploded all across the country. We're glad that it did not happen. Hey, Nick B, thanks for bringing in 5 new membos. Nick B is bringing in Alan the Magic Goose is here. We have Frankie P, Unknown, Shane Rochester, and Michael W, all gifted membos, courtesy of Nick B. Thank you, Nick, for bringing them in. Hey, J Water Roadless Wolf says, 1 dead, 2 in the ER, critical condition. 4th who was grazed is a relative of Trump's physician from the White House. That's all I know for now. Prayers for all. Thanks for the details. Yeah, I think people are still trying to figure it out, and I've been keeping my eye on what Fox is reporting, and it's still fog of war a bit. One old guy's opinion says he probably didn't write it. He probably didn't write it, from one old guy's opinions. James McIntyre says the whole Secret Service, DOJ, FBI, CIA, ATF need to go through full vetting, lie detector tests, email, social media, everything, and be fired or arrested. If any evidence, then they're enablers. Yeah, and I think that I don't have a lot of faith. I don't have any faith. The DOJ, the FBI, the ATF, the Secret Service, they're going to look into this. What are they going to find? The CIA did it, and the CIA is going to say, no, we didn't. And then they're going to, oh, okay, guess that's the end of that. I don't have faith that they're going to do their jobs. They already haven't. One old guy's opinion says he probably didn't write it. Military vet in the house says, FJB, good to see you. One old guy says he is disappointed, talking about Joe, that the attempt failed. Freedom Forever says, pray for the families of the victims of this act. One old guy says, one old guy's opinion says, this guy who called Trump a threat to democracy, talking about Joe. Mockingbird says, we need to know who is Trump's VP now. No time to wait. What's he waiting for? We need to ensure the continuity of the movement, from Mockingbird. I understand that perspective, but I also don't want a contingency plan for Trump being shot again, you know? So I think Trump, they just make sure he doesn't get shot again between now and... He's going to announce it probably, Tuesday, I think? Tuesday, Wednesday? The RNC convention's next week, so it's coming soon. But I understand your perspective, Mockingbird. One old guy's opinion says, Biden wants to know why the attempt failed. He'll look into it. Beth says, Bethel Park is about 1 hour from Butler, and so he planned it. So he hopped in there. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Sounds like he suited up. Was going to go make his big debut there. Hey, Stephen Evans says Donald is a badass. No doubt. I mean, that dude is a force of nature. You've never seen anything like it. Probably never will. It's wild times. James McIntyre says, let's see. Okay, JFK, Reagan, Scalise, almost a SCOTUS justice, and now Trump. It's one-way street, people. Wake up. Yeah, they shot Reagan too, and that was the last assassination attempt. And Reagan won his second term by a landslide. So it might be history repeating itself. Emil, what's up? Says, give this video a like, people. Thank you, Emil. Thanks for saying that. And I agree with him. If you have it in you, we'd love a like on the video. What's up, Lisa Bell? Thanks for this. No question or comment, but thanks for the nice dono, Lisa. I do appreciate it. ZKDK says the alleged shooter is wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, which is a popular YouTuber. They'll be going after the guns and blaming the right. Okay. Yeah, that's the other alternative, right? It's going to be a Putin. Putin would be ideal. Like if this guy was like a cousin of Putin, they'd be like, oh, see, they're trying to interfere with the election and trying to support Trump or something or whatever. So that would be number one. But the answer is always it's the guns. And they always say, oh, it was a semi-automatic rifle. He fired multiple shots instantly. We should ban all the guns. So that's interesting. Demolition Ranch. So we'll see where that one goes. Thank you, ZKDK. This one from Tony Hay Munkets, bringing in 5 new membos. Thank you, Tony Hay. Let's see who is coming in here. We got Craig P's coming in. Christine E, Luke A, Ryan H, and a boy and his dog, all gifted membos, courtesy of Tony Hay Munkets. Hey, Hypernova says, so glad to see you, Rob. Wanted to hear from you. Thank you, Hypernova. I wanted to hang with you guys, and I wish I had something more profound and meaningful and historic to say, but it's just a shocking day, and it changes the entire game. I think we're on a new timeline. It really elevates everything, and I don't think we know exactly what that means yet. So time will tell, and I'm glad we got to hang tonight. Does anyone really think our uniparty gives a flying crap about Trump? No, our entire government is bought out. You mean, I think that there's... Yes, I think I see what you're saying. No, I think that the government is adverse to Trump. People in the government don't want Trump as the president, as a general rule. I'm not saying everybody in the government is like that, but as a general rule. The institutionalists protect the institutions. Trump is going to reform the institutions, and so the institutions, as a natural self-defense mechanism, want to keep out anybody who causes reform. That's a big problem in our country. Cowgirl for God says, FAFO 2024, the year of Trump. Good to see you, Cowboy Girl. ZKDK is bringing in 5 new membos. Aha is coming in. Tulio S, David W, Debbie E, and Ernie C gifted membos, courtesy of ZKDK in the house. What's up, Steve? Stephen Evans says, I'm thinking of Mount Trumpmore. Yeah, Mount Trumpmore, with him putting his hand up with his ear hanging off. Gosh, that's like the most epic mountain you've ever seen. And you can climb to the top of the hand and just way there and stay up there with your MAGA hat on. Hey, what's up? One Old Guy's Opinions says the whole world is watching the U.S. political clownery. Says they used to do all that, but when the deep state wants to get rid of you, then steps are not taken on the security side. Just ask JFK and RFK. They just allow it to happen. Or I think RFK Jr. said they shot his dad in the back. Somebody shot him in the back from the government. Hey, this one voice says, I wish we could get together with this brother. Let's have a no-holds-barred convo soon. That sounds great, voice. We have this one from Tony Hay Munkets, gifted 5 new membos. What's up? Mike Tobo in the house, Chris N, William H, Prophets C, and ZKDK all got gifted membos, courtesy of Tony Hay Munkets. Oh my gosh, MJ Powell in the house. Look at this one. Oh my gosh. So we got 50 membos to read. I can't share the screen. Well, maybe I can share the screen on this one. Let me share. No, I can't do it. It's a pain. Okay, MJ Powell. Guess who's coming in? 50 membos. Let me knock these out, my friends. Welcome aboard, 50 new people. Barcaro, Lola Shun, Transplanted Texan, A Quest, Woody Harrelson, Michelle's coming in, Mod My Mind, C-Star, Ranel W, Silent Rage, F. Lee C, G.E., Shad Wee, Johnny Boy, Red's in the house, Shaolin F, Becky O, Tom S, Becky O again, XRP, Panic, Michael B, Feline Fun, Cheryl B, Speed, Eric Hadley, welcome, Nutter, Tammy, Bob F in the house, Hoark, James G, Derek M, Victor R, Audra DeLone, KM, Phasecraft, X, Martha C, Jason F, and just a few more, Jerry T, Danny M, Gerald C, The Mirror Man, Luann M, Dennis Smith, Christine, Hort Wessel S.A., Sean Cushman, Darren W, Ronica S, and Mitch M. Gifted membos! Welcome aboard, and thanks for letting me read those, my friends. Welcome to MJ. Thank you, MJ Powell, for bringing in 50 new membos. You're amazing. Thanks for doing that. Very grateful to have you. Law Park is here. Just became a membo. And now what did I do with my screen here? Law Park became a membo. David Ray is gifted membos. We got so many membos coming in. David Ray brought in Joe Lemon, Steve P, Jilly Claude, Blue Crow, and Michael M, all gifted membos, courtesy of David Ray. Thank you, David, for doing that. And Debbie Ellis also gifted membos. This is unbelievable. Look at all these membos coming in. Debbie Ellis gifted 5 membos. You know who you are coming in. And thank you, Debbie, for bringing them in. 5 new members coming in, courtesy of Debbie Ellis. Flashed by my screen, so I couldn't see who they were, but we're glad that they came in. And Debbie, thanks for bringing them in. Hey, Jay Water says, thanks to today, the question politicians must answer is not, do you support President Trump, but does President Trump support you? Prayers to all hurt by this coward. Amen to that one, Jay Water. We got this one from I Love Broccoli. It is good. I happen to like it. Says the police were in on it. The witness told the police when they saw the shooter crawling up, and the police pretended not to know anything. We did see that. We saw some witnesses talking about that stuff, and I don't know what the hangup was from the cops, if that is true. Tony Hay says, bringing in Chris L, 5 members, Citizen, Karen O, Will Call Magic, and Villu S, all gifted members courtesy of Tony Hay Munkets. Tony, you're the man. Hey, Chris LaForest also brought in a new member. Thank you, Chris LaForest, for doing that. Very nice of you. We got this one from Debbie. Says, Dan Bongino says it is SOP for the FBI to investigate when a Secret Service protectee is attacked. Secret Service can't do it. Conflict of interest. Not that it should make anyone feel any better about it. I see. So they have another entity come in and investigate it so that there's no funny business going on. So they just call their friends, the FBI, who are as corrupt as any agency, and say, can you help out? Abraham Lincoln, who also got shot in the head. But that one didn't miss. Why can't we not polygraph people in positions of power? Well, there's no real mechanism to do it. I mean, we could pass a law or something, but they would have to agree to it. We just don't have any mechanism by which to do it, unless they agreed. This one from Emil says, Rob, gotta bounce. I'll be in New York in a few days. We shall see. I'll ask the working folk. Good to see you, Emil. Thanks for the donos today. Thanks for joining us on this amazing Saturday, although it's been kind of a dreary Saturday. Angry Bell Sprout says Biden talking about political violence like in 2016 and 2020 didn't happen with his fans beating people in the streets and, of course, burning and looting and murdering. Yeah, billions of dollars of damage from the Summer of Love, fiery but mostly peaceful protest that resulted in the 3rd Precinct of Minneapolis being burnt to the ground. Selv says they crossed the Rubicon on this one. Everything has changed. Everything. We have this from B. Torn says, the FBI now controls the investigation. The keyword controls. They did the Mar-a-Lago raid. They did the Whitmer kidnapping. They did Ray Epps. They did January 6th. They did the DNC bomber. They did Hunter's laptop and Russia. Now they're going to be in charge of this one. Great. XSSFD Lieutenant says Trump will only have 4 years to undo everything that has brought us to this point. It's going to be quick. He's going to have to move fast, but he can do it. This one from Mo says, Teflon Don, even the bullets don't stick. It's incredible. It's incredible. We got K Bean. What's up, K Bean? Says the left can't stop making Trump awesome. Convicted felon, and they just pierced his ear. Chicks dig scars. Okay. For the rest of the campaign, people are going to be looking at his ear. For the rest of the campaign. Every time Trump walks out on a stage, people are going to look at his ear, and they're going to say, that dude got shot in the ear. He almost got shot and killed. For the rest of the campaign. It's going to be the most badass scar you've ever seen. And there's nothing they're going to be able to do about that. Like an ornament of badassery just hanging right here for the rest of his life. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, KB. Great comment. Thanks for being an amazing mod. Hey, what's up, Clyde? Gifted 1 membo. Thank you, Clyde, for doing that, for bringing in new membos. And we have Tony Hay Munkett says, let's find a way to help the fallen and the injured. It's a great suggestion, Tony Hay Munkett. I don't think we even know who they are yet, but I'm sure there'll be some GoFundMes and ways to support them when that comes about. And thanks for even suggesting that. It's a great idea. This one came in from Phil Swede and John Fraser. Says, it is Teddy Roosevelt all over again. If anyone knows history, knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's going to take more than a bullet to take out a bull moose, that's for sure. Teddy Roosevelt got shot in the chest and just carried on. And, yeah, they tried to kill him too because he was also a badass. What's up, Phil Swede? Prayers from Sweden. Thank you for that. We'll take it. We need it. We got MAGA in November. We're going to be doing that, Phil. Thanks for saying what's up from Sweden. Very cool of you to do that. This one from Hypernova came in. Says, Google Crooks. He's supposedly a registered Republican. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's a registered Republican. And as I said, probably related to Putin and is a gun enthusiast and maybe even watching the Watchers. I can't wait for that one. Hey, what's up, Angry Bellsprout? How long before the bunker baby style comments again? I don't know. Bunker baby style comments again. I'm not sure what that's referencing. Like Joe Biden is back in his bunker again? I don't know. Raider Gaines, what's up? Says, did you notice Biden wasn't stuttering today? Had an actual memory during his reaction press conference today? I'm telling you guys, he's faking it. That's great. I don't know, Raider Gaines. So I don't know. He was out for 2 minutes, and you're right, though. It was a little bit past his bedtime, so I don't know what happened. How'd they do that with him? CA Human, did you see the hole in Trump's jacket? It's all over X. Thanks for doing this tonight. Thank you, CA Human. Thanks for joining us, man. I did see it, yeah. There was a hole in Trump's jacket, and we don't know if he was wearing body armor, if he got hit there, or what. But, yeah, wild. I did see the picture. Hey, this one from Gloria T. sent in a super sticker. Thank you, Gloria. Thanks for sending in a super sticker. Very generous of you. This one from John Doe says, Donald is going to be charged. Probably. Yeah, Jack Smith will probably indict him in Pennsylvania for attempting to shoot himself, I guess. Well, you should have been standing there. Why were you standing there? You know, you caused disorderly conduct by getting shot in the ear. And so now we're going to indict you for that. I can see it. Hey, Sofa King says, there's a pic of the shockwave by his head. Oh, yeah, we played that one. Yeah, the bullet, right, actually zipping by, probably after it blew through his ear. This one from Mal Karan says, first time chatting and way behind, but what do you think the chances are that the House impeaches Biden for saying put Trump in the bullseye, considering they went after Trump for fight like hell? Yeah, well, first of all, we're talking about Republicans, so zero, basically zero. I mean, they're not going to do hardly anything. And the fight like hell stuff, you're right, they did. I mean, that was part of Trump's insurrection argument, the January 6th insurrection. He said fight like hell, and then there was an insurrection. So I can understand the analogy. I can say Joe Biden said put him in a bullseye. Some supporter went out, put him in a bullseye. What's the difference? Well, the difference is the Republicans aren't in charge. Republicans don't act like Democrats. They don't control the DOJ and weaponize their institutions against their opponents. They should. I hope they do next time. And prosecute everybody who broke the law. But, you know, normally they just kind of cower into the corner and say, well, we don't want to be like them. Okay, so do you want to end up in prison? Because that's where you're going. So what's up? Thank you for that. Hey, LC says, what do we know about the shooter? So we know his name, allegedly. We know his age. That's about it. This one from, and we know that a bunch of people saw him before he shot. Seekin Findin says they have an $81 million ballot problem and an installed psychopath with dementia. True. Everything they have tried has failed, even this assassination. Pray, because they're desperate. And I agree with that, right? So there might be a contingent out here of people, oh, it's already over. They're going to, you know, it's like, wow, okay, so what else are they going to do? Like, are they going to take out a city or something, you know? Blame the Russians on a nuke or, like, who knows? So it's just wild. We got this one from Jim R. Says, irony, Dems calling out violence and guns, especially when they're the ones perpetrating and perpetuating the violence and the guns. What's up? Amy Lynn became a new member. Thank you, Amy Lynn, for joining us as a new member. Make sure you grab the morning stream, although everything's changed now. But we had some fun talking about this morning, talking about Joe Biden's dementia. John Held says, sent in a super sticker. Thank you, John. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate you, my man. Glad you made it over and joined us. Philip B. says, RFK was shot by a Palestinian. RFK, yeah, I don't know the story. I don't know the ethnicity on the shooter. I remember the name. That sounds right. That sounds right. But I think what RFK Jr. said is it was not that guy. It was somebody who shot him in the back, who was basically with the government. Jeffrey Adams says, do not allow the FBI to classify the shooter's social media and the cell and comp data. Yeah, the social media accounts already been scrubbed. Are we ever going to get anything there? Has he scrubbed them, or did the social media scrub them? Don Marie just became a new YouTube member. Thanks for joining us, Don Marie. Really appreciate that. We'll see you on the members only streams. Poppy is in the house. What's up, Poppy? Thank you for joining us and for sending these in. And let's see if we've got an idea of who these members are that came in. Let's see. We don't, but we see that we have some new members in. Poppy, thanks for bringing in 10 new members. Very awesome of you to do that. And we also had Just Rhonda bring in 10 more members. It's crazy. We have so many new members, my friends. And I'm really glad. Here, Poppy. Poppy brought in these 10. We brought in M. Fonts, Acior. This is from Poppy. John Dalzell, L&T, Cameron, Catman, Infomax, Joe, Jennifer M., and Buddy Chipman in the house, courtesy of Poppy in the house. And JMZ also brought in some new members. JMZ brought in Andy H., Dragon Book, RRD, Beth, and Will Reed. All got gifted members. David G., welcome aboard as a new member as well. Albert says, it's the wrong picture of the shooter going around. Everybody check that account for the wrong picture. I don't know if that's the right one, so be cautious. Kevlar Don, what's up? Membo for 14 months. Thanks for being a membo for 14 months. Amazing to have you for so long. It's been wild. Richard N. also became a new YouTube supporter. Welcome aboard, Richard. JC says, everybody please volunteer. Too big to rig. Trump 2024. Great to have you. Thanks, JC. We got Tasmanot says, the world was 2 inches from doom. Trump and MAGA is bigger than just America. He's a hero worldwide. He is doing the only thing between us and complete globalist control. The fate of the world is at stake. Good comment, Tasmanot. JMZ says, hey, 5 membos from JMZ. I think we read those. We got this one from Elf. Says, Robert, check DJT Jr. on X for a give, send, go. There you go. All right, so already raising some funds to help those who've been impacted from this horrific night. We got David G. Says, been following you a long time. A lot of respect. Really happy and proud of you for being on top of this topic. Big moment. Thanks for saying that, David G. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. Thank you for that. I mean, I wanted to be here with you to discuss this because this is history. This is our president. This is our country. And we have to do it. We have to talk about it. So it's my honor to be here, honestly. We have this from David G. Thank you, David. We had this one from Kay Thomas. Says, the left calling this political violence is equal to the left calling J6 an insurrection. They get everything backwards. And it's a minimization of it. It's not just political violence. It's an assassination attempt on the leading candidate who's about to beat Joe Biden. So they can't get away with that. Ink Bandit says, when he threw his hand up, defiant and damn near talking crap, I was like, my guy has nuts of steel and wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrows for Trump's, it's insane. It's insane. Kay Thomas, need a law passed to end the protection of the speech and debate clause. All Congress should be under oath at all times, would reduce the lies over there. Yeah, we need an amendment on that one. And Atomic Monkey Action Squad. Wow, that sounds really menacing. Says people who claim Crooks is a Republican know nothing about how an asset's persona profile is set up in advance. Wow, that's an interesting comment. Atomic Monkey Action Squad. Man, you guys should have been there today. You would have stopped this whole thing. People who claim Crooks is a Republican know nothing about how they set this up. So, yep, interesting. Okay, Jay Waters says, check the X thread. There's an Act Blue receipt over there. And so let's do that. Let's go over to X and say what's up to our friends on X as we wrap up near the end of this night. My friends, we'll see if there's anything else that's percolating out there. And yes, we do have some comments. Yeah, Jim's here. What's up, Jim? Norman Smith, Dapper Dan's in the house. Here's some comments. So Jim, let's share this. And thank you, Jay Water. Says he was outside the actual event, as were the people that shot the TMZ video. I went to the Vegas rally. There was much less security outside the actual show area. It's probably why the Secret Service didn't hear him. Norman Lee, what's up, Dapper Dan? Cheryl M. We got Debbie S. What's going on, Debbie? Great to have you join us. Simply Unacceptable says it took the Secret Service a minute 30 seconds to get Trump from the podium to the bottom of the stairs. Is this standard? Good questions. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Silicon Valley Reject. Kat Johnson's in the house. Says, I'm just sickened. The left's rhetoric created this atmosphere. Whichever it is they carry the blood. Thank God Trump went off script and looked at the chart. If he hadn't turned his head. What's up, Diane? Adaverse is in the house. Does anybody think the shooter intentionally missed? Intentionally missed? I'm waiting for that one to happen too. Oh, Trump wanted to be shot. Yeah. So he could get sympathy from everybody. You know that's coming too. I can't wait to see who says that one. So, all right. That's what's happening over on X. And I think Jay Waters sent in a link. But Jay Water, you're probably being not on my list. So Glocky says, he was shot in the papers from his speech, Stop the Bullet. That was Teddy Roosevelt, yeah. And a bunch of links over there. Glocky's got some great stuff. And Act Blue. That's interesting. Okay, so there's some rumors that maybe this guy worked for some other organization. I don't want to spread stuff that is not, absolutely confirmed, but that is interesting. Where did this guy work? What was his background? All those questions. Now, we had some great comments on Locals as well, my friends. If you've not already joined us on Locals, we have an awesome community there, chatting away, saying some beautiful stuff. In fact, let's say hello to our friends on Locals and some of the great comments that have been shared there. This one came out from Ravicus. What's up, Ravicus? Sharing this one. Says, put on the armor, baby. The sword of truth. And we like that from Ravicus. Thanks, Ravicus. NY says, I am also to call to remember Representative Scalise, who was shot at the congressional baseball game. That's right. Yeah, also by a leftist. And our dear leader, President Biden, referring to Trump supporters as enemies of the people. Who's responsible for the rhetoric? NY says, there are also reports the Trump campaign asked for more Secret Service, but they were declined. Schnookums is here, says, an existential threat to our democracy from legislators, the executive branch, and the MSM, scaring the public into fear reactions. What's up, Milo Phone Bill? Says they made a big mistake. Neuro, what's up, Neuro? In the house. Says, thanks, Rob. Your reasoned voice is such a blessing to us all. Thank you, Neurodivergent. I mean, I feel blessed. I feel blessed to be here with you. Thank you for being an amazing member of our community and for the beautiful dono. Angel says, I don't know if you remember, but the Biden administration tried to remove the Secret Service from Trump. There was definitely a bill. I don't know if the Biden administration did it, but there was definitely a bill. And the Democrats wanted the bill to pass. Schnookums says they won't be any more forthcoming about him than they were about the trans school shooter or its manifesto. Yeah, and Six Sponsky says, wow. According to the Supreme Court, Harry Sisson wrote this, Biden could now send in SEAL Team 6 to take them all out. Remember that? Maybe, was that guy with SEAL Team 6 or something? He could send in the military to take out Trump. And he would have immunity for that too. Wow, so it sounds like Harry Sisson might be a co-conspirator, or at least an antagonist of an assassin. Great. Hey, what's up? Misha says, thank you for this stream, Rob. Thank you, Misha, for saying that. I appreciate it. I'm really grateful to be here with you. Angel says, it wasn't an inch or half an inch or even a container. It was a miracle. It didn't hit and go through his skull. Thank you, God Almighty. It was. Megyn Kelly rubbed some dirt on it, said in her coverage of the shooting that she's now decided she would crawl over broken glass to vote for Trump. Yeah, it's good. Megyn Kelly's great, man. I saw she was streaming some awesomeness. Sweet says, don't forget to pray in thankfulness for those answered prayers in keeping Trump safe. We all witnessed divine intervention today. I don't know how else to explain it. Millimeters away from a dead president, and he's alive. So you're right about that, Sweet. Amen to that. Schnookum says, maybe this will cause Trump to reevaluate those around him in a different light, reviewing for deep state associations. Yeah, and Sergeant GPS says, no longer Teflon Don, it's Kevlar Don now. Yeah, baby, the man's like bulletproof. Unreal. T.A. Holloway, good to see you, Sergeant. T.A. Holloway says, the last FBI and Trump have a history. Considering the obvious lapse in security, it's not comfortable with the FBI investigating this. Very good comment from T.A. Holloway. B.A. Thorne is sharing, looks like an engagement photo from B.A. Thorne. Is that from you? That's some nice little fun, nice little happiness in an otherwise dreary evening. Schnookum says, and congratulations if that's an engagement, but I can't tell. Otherwise, it looks like just a nice picture. This one from Schnookum says, what? No drones on Overwatch. We get footage from Ukraine, but nothing here. Well, we don't have... Do we have any money for drones? I thought that Zelensky had it all. Doesn't he have all of our drones? Do we even have any? I don't know. Sweet says, how do you feel about Trump still attending RNC? I think absolutely. Yeah, it's like absolutely, man. Trump is... There's divine protection. So this is it. And let's go. But I understand your trepidation on that, Sweet. Schnookum says, Slow Joe... He did seem artfully alert for an unplanned appearance today for someone who goes to bed at 8 o'clock too late in the day. He did seem pretty decent. I'm like, isn't he supposed to be eating ice cream right now? Man, I'm telling you, Joe Biden is fine. He's got definitely a couple more years. Lady I says, one of the lamestream media was criticizing Trump's statement because he didn't make a call for peace or to tell people not to retaliate. I saw that. I heard that one. Like, seriously, the man was just shot in the head. Yeah, I was listening to it on the radio on the way home. I was streaming it, listening to something. We were driving around. We're up in Prescott, Arizona. We're not even, you can see a whole different scene here. And I was listening to some anchor. Oh, it was the ABC dude. It was that ABC dude with glasses. And he was saying, some people are a little bit wondering if the president's going to be making a statement here, assuring people to remain calm. I'm like, what the hell? Dude just got shot in the head. You weird freak. Relax. Lady Ice says, also Bongino said that Trump's campaign has been asking for additional security but was denied. All while JFK Jr. is denied. Yeah. John Allen says, after being shot at, it's no minor matter to stand up without fear or encourage the crowd. Definitely Trump has some big ones from John Allen. Good to see you, John. Schnookum says, Trump should get an earring through the near piercing and use it as part of his persona. Yeah, he should sell some bullet earrings. Some bullet earrings with Make America Great Again on it. For, all the ladies in the house. Just hang them right here with a nice bullet on it. John Allen says, David G is correct. Thank you, Rob. We do appreciate everything you do. Thank you, John. John, super nice to see you again. Thanks for saying that. And nice to see you back in the chat. And I appreciate that. It's been an absolute honor to go through this with you. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, what a night. Sweet says, is body cam footage available to the public to whoever requests it? I'd like to know which officer was told about the shooter on the roof and ignored it. So I don't think you'd get it for a situation like this. I think they'd probably keep it due to national security policies and things. But yeah, generally you can. Yeah, you can just make a public records request and get footage, depending on the state, depending on the jurisdiction. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it, some states have public record rules. And so if it's part of that, you can get it. Others have privacy rules, right? And so you can't get it. It just kind of depends on the state. Lady Ice says, Elon has come out directly saying he's voting for Trump now. Also, yesterday it came out that he was donating to Trump's super PAC. So heck yeah to Elon. Roadless Wolf is sharing this one from Technofog. We're big fans of Technofog. Let's see what he's saying on X. And he does good work. So Technofog is in the house. He shared this. Yeah. He posted, Biden declines to call it what it is, an assassination attempt. They're not going to want to say it. Yeah, they're not going to want to say it. Thank you, Roadless Wolf, for saying that. Charles Gent says, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Trump removed from the stage by Secret Service after loud noise startles the former president and the crowd. That's exactly the same title that I saw from Arizona Central. Who wrote that? David Jackson? He was rushed off the stage after loud popping sounds rang out. I can't believe he pushed... Trump reached for his ear. Like, okay. Loud popping sounds. That's your journalism in America. Rakita Banana says, I was there for the rally with my husband. Unbelievable. I'm still in shock. It was unbelievable. Rakita Banana was there at the rally in our locals. Thank you, Rakita Banana. Man, I'm so glad you're safe. I'm so sorry that you had to be there and witness this. But I'm glad you're safe. We have this from Beth. Says, Joe Biden on 7/8/2024. We're talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. We're done talking about the debate. All I need to know. I guess he could have used a drone, though, a la Obama, says Beth. Good to see you, Beth Williams. Kat says, FBI identifies the assassin's 20-year-old man from Pennsylvania. All day reporting Donald says it was a Chinese man. Really? That dude doesn't look like that. No, doesn't look like a Chinese man. V is never silent says, will the shooter have a manifesto? 20-year-old on psych meds? Maybe. Ginny, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Ginny says, thanks for coming on, Robert. Thank you, Ginny, for joining us. Chelly Bay says they'll all make it about gun control. Waiting for that one, too. Here's one from JC, the Music Man. Says, God bless and protect our president. Man, there was something like that going on for sure. Jesus was like just flicking that little bullet. Just, boop, or he just kind of nudged Trump's head just a little bit. He just says, over here, Mr. President. That's all it took, man. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, what's up, Kat? Says, check out Kelly Paul's response to Pelosi on X. Did Pelosi post something? All right, let's see what Pelosi posted. See what she says. See if there's any good comments and reaction. Nancy Pelosi, she is out sharing this. Oh, gosh. Is she going to do this? As one family who's been the victim of political violence, this is Pelosi, I know firsthand that political violence of any kind has no place in our society. Okay. Yep, it's not political violence. They all got the memo. You see what I'm saying here? They all got the memo. Just call it political violence. It's not political violence. I mean, it is, but it's also an assassination attempt, so you can't diminish it. I thank God that Trump is safe. You do? Because every day we see you on NBC and MSNBC and all the news stations saying that he's going to end American democracy and he's a dictator and he's like Nazi. Why would you want him safe if he's like Nazis? As we learn more details about this horrifying incident, let us pray that all those in attendance are unharmed. Well, okay, the incident was over and they were not dead. One person is dead. Others were harmed. So I guess your prayers were unanswered. Thanks for that, Nancy. Now, yeah, here's a reminder from Tom. 11 days ago, you said this is not a normal election. You said Trump must be stopped. He cannot be president. So they said all that type of stuff, and they apparently had no role in this. Thanks, Kat. This one from Jeremy says, quick question. If the entity that serves the president is a secret, why is it that everyone knows who they are and what they do? Asking for a friend. Yeah, the Secret Service. They're like everywhere. You're like, are you Secret Service? They're like, yeah. Well, I can see you. They're like, I know. Name's not really applicable. This one from Defrauded says, so it's not about systemic racism. It's not. It might be. We don't know. I think everything is. It's about systemic corruption. Also, see Bongino's post. Those responsible for all the cover-ups on numerous issues, including Biden, are indirectly responsible. Dan says, I want to repeat and can absolutely confirm Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle has repeatedly turned down requests for a larger footprint. She knows the threat level is catastrophic. She needs to resign tonight. AP Silverberg says, Bongino predicted this over 6 months ago and said that the Secret Service wasn't behind them or behind Trump. Defrauded says, I'm in Pittsburgh. After the articles appeared in the international news about my filing on Hunter, I called the FBI to report what I knew. They were rude, repugnant, and reprehensible. Man, nice 3 R words. You're like Hakeem Jeffries. 4.5 years later, they admitted the laptops as evidence. Maybe now they'll stop all the cover-ups and do their jobs. From January 2020, with my picture, my condolences to the families who lost their loved ones. So this is from the Daily Mail. And there's some good stuff there. So we got this. V is Never Silent says, Trump will have to get a Pope Mobile, converted golf cart, maybe gold-plated. We had a link to X. Let's save that one. Peanut Gallery Girl says, as much as we want to solve this, use the Bongino rules. Wait 49 to 72 hours to see what shakes out. Good rules. And Cerno is all in now, says Kat. Trump 2024. Shout out to Mike Cernovich from coming for now jumping into the game. And I did see that tweet as I was scrolling around. In fact, here's what Cerno said. Cerno's a force of nature. That'll be good to have him back on the field. And here's what he said. A couple comments. Man, lots of stuff tonight. Cerno. Well, I can't find it, but I did see it earlier. He says, I'm coming in, I'm all in. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Got it. Perfect. He says, from Cerno, I told all my friends and family that I was going to keep lying low. True to form, no outside podcasts, no live streams, just keeping my head down. Unfortunately, history beckons. Often, it's not our choice. The die have been cast. Cerno enters the game! Cool. Maybe Cernovich will do an interview with us, and we'll get to the bottom of these shenanigans. So thanks, Kat, for that. John Allen says, I'm around a lot. I'm just a creepy lurker, though. Just like me, John. I tend to lurk as well. And so, as you can see, my friends, we got an amazing community on Locals. We'd love it if you joined us and went on over there and became a part of the fun. Let's see. We had a couple of other X posts that were shared on. Oh, it's a truth post from Techno. Wow. Okay, so Technofog. Here's an interesting one. Man, shout out to Technofog. Wow. Technofog posted this and says, Thomas Crooks, unemployed Act Blue donor for progressive turnout. What? Here, Schedule A, FEC form. Name of the committee is Act Blue. Here's the name of the individual, Thomas Crooks, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Date of the receipt, 1/20/2021. That's very curious. Name of the employer, not employed, not employed. Act Blue is a Democratic fundraising supergroup. And he signs this. This form gets finalized the day Joe Biden becomes president on January 20th, 2021. What? Okay, it's very interesting on that. So shout out to Technofog for bringing that to our attention. And Charles shared this one. Charles Gant shared this one, but that post has been deleted, Charles. So as you can see, that post was deleted. I don't know what that was about, but deleted. So, all right, my friends, now that is the updates. Those are the updates. So let's do a refresh here. L Destiny says, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20 years old from Pennsylvania. He was the shooter. Yeah, and we're still waiting to learn more about him. So, my friends, thank you for sending in all of those amazing donos. And there were a couple more that came in. Man, so great to have you guys. Okay, so Jay Water sent this one. And okay, Billy Rob, what's up? Says Trump is the true BA of the GOP since Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah. Yes. That's a great statement. Nobody else since then has even come close. Reagan was pretty, Reagan had that massive landslide. And he got shot. We might be seeing something like that again. Tony Hay Munkett says, if Trump didn't make it tonight, what would we do? It's a great question, Tony Hay. Fortunately, he did, and we don't have to play with that sick hypothetical, but yeah, he made it. So we don't want to have to think about that, but it's a scary one. Abraham Lincoln says, this is the catapult for Trump's re-election 2024 from the UK. I think, there could be some truth to that. There might be a lot of truth to that, but it also makes me very nervous because if they're willing to go this far, what else are they willing to do? It makes me very nervous. We got this from Ink Bandit. What's up? Became a new YouTube member. Great to have you. Thanks for joining us, Ink Bandit. And we'll check out the membo stuff that we did this morning. Joe says, obvious deep state. We have a problem. Yeah, we have a big deep state problem, no doubt. Jay Water says, reposted this on Locals too. Thank you, Jay Water, for reposting. Joe says, we almost saw the most graphic thing in 4K. It was supposed to be public. It was supposed to be JFK 2.0. Yes, they wanted his head blown off in front of all of us. Right before the RNC convention. And they were just millimeters away from doing it. And they're going to call that political violence. And Nancy Pelosi is going to say that it's the same thing. It's not. Yoshi says, if Trump carries the momentum, it's over. Well, as I said, he's going to be having that dangling earlobe for the rest of the campaign season. And we're not going to be able to forget this. This one from Sean Young. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for sending this one in, my man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful day. It's I say beautiful day as a regular phrase. It is a beautiful day. We had a lot of positivity come out of a lot of things that could have gone wrong that didn't go wrong. And of course, I don't want to overlook the deceased and the injured, but there's a silver lining in it all. Not in those deaths, but in it could have been a lot worse, I guess is my point. Sweetums says, Beth Coddington is calling me Sweetums. So thank you, Beth. Says, hi, Sweetums. From what I understand, the man who died was in the line of fire. That bullet that killed him was the one that hit Trump in the ear. A tragedy any way you look at it. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's horrific. That guy is dead. He was sitting there at a rally, making America great again. Now he's dead. So peace to his family, and may he rest in peace. This one from Kojax. What's up, Kojax? Thanks for becoming a new member. And Dixie Rose, thanks for becoming a new member. And Jim Fowler, thanks for becoming a new member. Appreciate all of you for joining us on this day. We got Kevin H. says, my thoughts, Dem donors wanted to incite a retaliation. Only way to put a new candidate legally in all 50. Plus they get to label MAGA domestic terror words. So I see what you're saying. So if they take out Trump, then there'll be a reaction. Then they can criminalize MAGA. This was something that even Robert Barnes was talking about at our Vegas meetup. Robert Barnes said, well, what if there was what if they tried to take out Biden, right? I think a lot of people were wondering about that too. Take out Biden, make it a MAGA extremist, or don't even take out Biden, right? Just make an attempt to take out Biden and blame it on the MAGA extremists. Like that could be coming too. Like, oh, another, oh, Trump got assassinated, so let's just fake one about Joe, and we'll blame MAGA and gun owners on that one. Now everybody just says, oh, there's political violence all over the place. This is the new game. People just shooting each other in America. They do it in other countries. Why wouldn't it happen here? So, all right, thanks, Kevin, for that one. And Jeffrey A., thank you, Jeffrey Adams, says, thanks, Rob. You're a calm voice during a storm. Thanks for that, Jeffrey. Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. I think that we are going through this stuff together. There's a lot of, you bring me a lot of calm. You bring me a lot of clarity. We work through these issues together. And I think, and I hope that we're all a little bit better for it. I know I am. So I appreciate that, Jeffrey. And Yoshi says, Biden is taking himself out with his talking. Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth, it just seemingly gets worse and worse. So, okay, my friends. So it has been just a heck of a night. As I said, I'm really honored that we got to go through all this together because it's a historic night. It is absolutely something that will be etched into the history books, and it very likely shifted us into a new timeline, into a new era. The whole game has changed. Trump got shot, and we're going to learn more about the details. We're going to continue our coverage, and we hope that you join us as we do. So we're going to wrap it up on the night, my friends, and call it a day. But the plan is we're going to officially come back on Monday. As you can see, your boy's out of town, and we are here trying to get some nature and some fresh air and all that stuff, and we're going to do that. But because this is breaking, we'll probably be back here tomorrow, where there's probably going to be a lot more to talk about tomorrow. So I will keep you informed. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video. Thanks for inviting someone you know or love to come over here and check out our channel. We will be back here very likely tomorrow. Check the calendar. If you're interested in the calendar, robertgovea.com is the calendar where you can see where the show schedule is. And so as soon as I know what's going on tomorrow, I'll update that. But we'll see. Anyways, my friends, it's been just a heck of a stream. Thank you so much for coming with all the details, all the support, all the great comments, all the love, enthusiasm for our great country and for what we're working towards. It has been a historic night. We will survive and persevere through it. Of course, we're going to come back here to keep our coverage straight and narrow and focused on what we need to do, because with President Trump, with our movement, with the good energy, with the love of our country, with the love of our people, we are going to make America great again. Nothing is going to stop us, and I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. So thanks for joining us. Peace to everybody. Prayers for those who've lost somebody tonight, those impacted by this event. Prayers for President Trump for his speedy recovery. And my friends, make it a great night. I'll see you back here on the next one. Until then, be well, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.